Hi everybody, welcome back to Dandelion Cottage for part 2 of ink washes. So I have my papers here and they're still damp, but I think they're dry enough to use now. Okay, so there is my yellows, my greens, and my blues. And I'm just going to use the yellows for now because I think that piece is a little drier than the other two. And I've got my stamp here. And again, this is the, excuse me, the stamp from Butterfly Brilliance. And I'm going to use the Calypso Coral ink. Okay, so that's good and inked up. Now the paper is, it's just a little bit damp, and that may soften the outlines of some of these colors, and that's fine. And because this is an oversized stamp, I'm going to leave that face up and put my paper on top of it, just like that. And then using my bone folder, I'm going to give that a light rub. Okay, I see I didn't press hard enough in a couple of places, but that's okay because we're gonna paint these a little bit more, and then we're going to cut them out. So I've got my water painter here. And I'm just getting my palette out again. Taking this lid off very carefully so I don't spill the inks. And I can go back into some of these areas. Just like so, and give these butterflies a little more shading. So I want to give their bodies a little bit of a darker tone. And I can use the images on the cover of the stamp set as a guide. Okay, so I'm not adding much. This is just a tiny little bit, and I know you can barely see it. Let me zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, and I want to make this butterfly a little bit brighter, like so. So you can just let your imagination go and add any colors that work best with your papers or your project, whatever your color theme may be. Now I got a little bit too much water there, so I'm just going to lift that up with a tissue, and then I can go right back into those areas again. Okay, and I think this one I'll keep more to the yellow. And because the paper is still a tiny bit damp, I can push these colors around and keep that nice soft edge, which is what I'm going for here. And then, so now this little one has these little spots on each of its wings. So I'm just going to accentuate that. And this one too. And so if you find, like in this one, the strokes have bled out a little bit, just go right back into them. As the paper dries, you'll be able to get more of a hard edge and more detail to these little checks and patterns. Now let's get after this big one. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty well. Get a couple of little strokes to indicate the pattern on this one. All right. So once you have your butterflies the way you like them, just rinsing off my brush here. And I'm going to move my inks out of the way before we have an incident. And I'm going to get the cut and emboss machine out. So here we go. This is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And with this, you can both cut and emboss your papers. So today I'm just going to be using the cutting feature. And with the Butterfly Brilliance, you can also get these dies. And I'm going to be using this set of dies that will cut out all 6 butterflies at one time. All right, now I may get my head in the way here as I line this up, so just bear with me. And I'm just looking to get the, I can see the little swallowtail areas on the bottom of the big butterfly, just making sure that my bodies are lined up in the center. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. All right. You just put your top plate on, roll that through. There we go. And now I want to do one more thing. So I'm getting out my Wink of Stella. And I'm not going to do all of these with you because I think you can get the idea. But I'm just going to give that a nice coat. And I'm using plenty. And get that little crumb off of there. And there you have a beautiful, rich, colorful butterfly. And on Saturday, I'm going to give you a preview of some of the things that the projects that I've made with this wonderful suite. So I hope you can come back on Saturday at 12 noon and join me for a kind of a celebration of this wonderful butterfly suite and all of the things that I've done with it for the past several weeks. So thank you so much for joining me. Stay well, stay creative. Come back on Saturday at 12 noon, and I will see you then.